up at CBU, I was 6'8". So, Tony, no. It may be hard to believe as well that I honestly and truly changed Katie McGarrigle's diaper as well. She doesn't remember that, but it's true. First of all, President Harker, Mrs. Harker, President John Ryan of the AUS, faculty, staff, coaches, student athlete, staff and managers of the Cape Breton credit unions, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to single out Al Frazier and Heather Davies, who guide and direct our athletes in very special ways, academically, socially. So to you people, that's my acknowledgement. I'd like to talk a little bit today about the university, but just prior to that, I want you to know that so I told the AUS banquet that I sort of felt like the mosquito that flew in the nudist colony. He was awful glad to be there, but he wasn't quite know where to start. That's sort of where I am with this group. It's a very illustrious group. Anytime that we recognize excellence, I think not only should the athletes be very proud of their accomplishments, but we share that pride with them. And I challenge John, Ryan, and Dr. Harker to the next banquet I want to be at when we recognize our first Rhodes Scholar, which I don't think is too impossible or in the distant future with it. So I'll be glad to come back anytime when we recognize excellence, as we do. Also, I'd like for just a moment to regress and talk about the colors and tell you the story that I've been asked to tell on numerous occasions, but how we arrived at the orange, green, and white. And it's a true story, but it's got some levity to it, I believe. In 1974, when then the College of Cape Breton amalgamated with the Nova Scotia Institute of Technology to become University College of Cape Breton. At that time, we had to have different teams because we were two different institutions. We'd have a new team name and colors. So the then president, Dr. Campbell, called me in and he said, you should prepare for fall with one name for teams and one color and the other. And it'll be a monumental task because you're about to marry two institutions. Well, little did I know that it would be a monumental task. But the first one we had to get over was trying to create the unity of team names and colors. So, being a graduate of the University of Tennessee, whose colors are orange and white, I walked in with orange and white colors. And to this day, I don't know if he was joking or not, but Dr. Campbell sort of folded his arms and he said, Bucky, don't you think it's a little Protestant? I turned, I didn't say anything. I thought, I better not touch that one. So I backed off and said, how can I cure that? I said, I can't know how to cure that. I threw a little green at it. So now we had orange and green. And I thought, well, I'll put white. So he'd asked me to give some background the next time I come in as to why I was choosing the colors. And I went in and I said, Father Donald, I'm ready to explain the colors to you. And I asked him to take it to the Board of Governors. He said, what did you come up with? And I said, orange for the rising and setting sun, the green for the forest of Cape Breton, and the white for the rigidity of the institution. He says, it's fantastic. So I do it to the Lord. Our next little hurdle was the name of the teams. Well, we had a contest. Well, we had everything from the name Skunks, Huskies, to Lakers, to you name it. And anyway, the committee was Russ McNeil, myself, Ken Belmar was the athletic director, Dalhousie, Dr. Porter of our staff, Frank McNamara, who was at the local Department of Culture, Recreation, and Fitness at the time. And we met, and we looked at lobster and said, well, we could be making fun of it. And of course, a lot of people maybe want us to be McPuffin. They said, no, we don't think we McPuffin. So eventually, someone said, well, you know what they all call us when we're not home? Capers. So we thought about it a minute, and someone said, yeah, that's a little fish. Someone said, no, no, we're big fish. So after all the names were examined, the committee asked the Board of Governors to endorse the name Capers. Thus, the orange, green, and white and Capers were born in 1974. I want to talk to you today about Cape Breton University, the true heart of our Cape Breton community. I want to look at it in time frame of purpose, process, people. And I want to interwove it with the game of life here at CBU. In time of past, present, and future. The purpose is very clear. CBU is a facility that houses the cornerstone for the heart of our community, Cape Breton. The process has been growth, socially, mentally, and physically. The people, the faculty, staff, students, and the Cape Breton community. Let us to remember to honor your past, live in the present, and prepare those to whom we trust the future. Time without purpose, process, and people. Time rolls on. If you had a bank that credited your amount each morning, your account each morning, with $86,400, but carried no balance from day to day, and allowed you to keep no cash in your account, and every evening cancel whether part of that amount you had failed to use during the day, what would you do? Well, obviously, you draw on every cent, of course. Well, you have just such a bank, and the name is time. Every morning it credits you with 86,400 seconds. Every night it writes off the loss of whatever of these you have failed to invest in with purpose. It carries no balance, it shows no overdrafts. Each day it opens a new account with you. Each night it burns the record of the day. If you fail to use the day's deposit, the loss is yours. There's no going back. There's no drawing against tomorrow. You must live in the present on today's deposit. Invest it so that to get the most out of it in health, happiness, and success. But live one day at a time. There are 2 days in every week about which we should not worry. 2 days which should be kept free from fear and apprehension. One of these days is yesterday, with its mistakes and its bad cares, its frails and faults, blunders, its aches and pains. All the money in the world cannot bring back yesterday. We cannot undo a single act we performed. We cannot sense a single word said. Yesterday is gone. The other day we should not worry about is tomorrow, with its possible blunders, its large purpose, or its poor performance. Tomorrow is also beyond our immediate contact. Tomorrow's sun will rise, either in splendor or behind a mask of clouds. And it will rise. But until it does, we have to no stake tomorrow, for it's yet unborn. This leaves us only with one day, today. Any man can fight the battle for just one day. It's only when you and I have the burdens and those two other awful eternities, yesterday and tomorrow, that it breaks down. You know, we have a lot of rules for the game of life. Sometimes coaches have said, I'm going to give you the ball and name you the quarterback for your team in the game of life. I'm your coach, so I'll give it to you straight. There's only one schedule to play. It lasts for all your life, but it consists of only one game. It's a long game with no timeouts and no substitutions. You play the whole game